and then I had talked about the importance of education, and also with regards to the statement that I heard about people washing with salt water this morning, you know, as a way to get rid of the Ebola virus. And I said that it is very important for us not to underestimate the power of education, and that the people needed to get this information at their level in whatever way it would be that would be effective for them to be a part of it, to buy what this is all about and what it is that they have to do to stave this infection, stave off this infection. And I also wanted to know whether there was a follow-up of the people who have actually beat this virus, who have been discharged from the hospital, and because there is such a thing. Now, we don't hear that too often, that there are people who survive this and are discharged. And I wanted to know whether there was anything in place to follow this population, and whether there was someone whether they would actually be made to buy into this so that they can in turn educate their friends, their family and neighbors. So that's good to speak to.
So two issues. Yes. First, just the issue of communications. I think it's really vital, and I think, as I indicated in the meeting today, people are looking up to opinion makers. They feel like people in the diaspora have really good knowledge and stuff. So it's really important that if we communicate appropriate message, we communicate accurate message, we communicate correct message. Because just as effective as that wrong message was about the hot water and salt, we could turn it around and have a good message with the same effectiveness. Unfortunately, what we've seen is like the bad messages are the ones that are getting a lot more traction, and we're not getting the good messages that are coming out from this effort. About survivors, I think it's a good news story. If you look at the sit reps that come out of Sierra Leone these days, it leads up by survivors. There are people who've done extremely well, who've gone in there on the point of death, who've come back out well and strong. The initial concern was that there was so much stigma associated with this. I mean, people were not very welcoming, they were afraid of them, people wouldn't deal with them in their regular businesses, and people were afraid, their families were afraid, which is all natural. And I think what we want to do is to be able to help educate people about what happens after you survive this, that this is an opportunity for celebration. This is a rebirth. This is somebody who's come out of a traumatic situation and have done extremely well, that the whole community should really rally around this person, celebrate their life, and help them rebuild their life. I think this should be a conscious effort for all of us, including folks in the diaspora, to help celebrate these successes. I think right now they've got over 100 survivors. We never hear about them. We hear about the 200 deaths, and I think it's a little unfair.
Can you think of one single most department in the government that you could go to and speak to in terms of laying out possibly a roadmap on how one could actually get this involvement of those who have been discharged going? And again, I'm also sort of talking about this educational thing, because I cannot think of a better way of people putting, of allaying the fears of people by having those who have actually been through it and came out of it well to go out there and do this. So maybe is there something that one could do to get that going? Because that's just as important as trying to get supplies and things to the country, really.
I think it's very, very important. My caution is that it has to be managed well.
There we go.
The people need to be prepared for receiving somebody who's recovered from Ebola. And so massive campaign to let people be aware of the facts around transmission, be aware of the risk associated or the non-risk associated with people who fully recovered and cleared the virus. It's very important. I'm not sure about what particular ministry in the government should take the lead in that, but this is civil society's role. This is civil society really working with the community, educating the community, preparing the community to receive their sisters, their brothers, their cousins, their neighbors back into their community. I saw some initiatives by the chiefs in Kailaon who were very, very engaged, who were very involved, who would come back and really reintroduce the person to their community. They have a certificate from the ministry that says that they've been Ebola cleared, and they'll help them with relocation and setting up in their new homes. And actually, when I was leaving, I saw that they gave them a small package at the hospital to help them restart their lives. But I think civil society could play a really major role in helping support that. I don't know which arm of the Ministry of Government is actually involved in that. I think the government, from the Ministry of Health standpoint, is more involved in the biomedical side of things. The social and community side of it, I'm not sure who's responsible.
Because I asked that. Yeah, I asked that because if I were to want to contribute to that, if I wanted to help, I want to know just where I could go, where I would be sort of embraced with open arms. That's what I'm saying, because that's another frustration factor. I mean, I am asking questions because I want to know just how I could be of help.
I think what you have is several layers of engagement. The National Emergency Operations Center is one hub that coordinates nationally. They're looking to set EOCs in each of the districts. That's one hub that you could work with. The local chiefs, the religious leaders, another hub that you could work through. Community leaders, another hub. So there's several layers that you could pitch your engagement with, starting from the central level all the way to the local communities. Unfortunately, I think I'm
okay, last question. Yeah, so just so we want to get a summary, you mentioned that if we had an urgency, we actually treated this with urgency, that we could stop it within 2 months. If not, then it could drag on and could be very devastating.
Yeah.
If you were to just summarize, when you say urgency, what could people at home and abroad do and to make it urgent? When you say urgency, what does that mean?
The urgency component of it is stopping transmission, interrupting transmission. And that requires everybody that's involved to be able to identify cases early, make sure that these cases move from their communities or from their households to the hospital settings, and disinfect that area. Communications is going to be really, really critical. Public participation is really going to be critical. And I think if you bring the communities together to help look out for their households, their neighborhoods, their chiefdoms, their districts, their country, we'll be able to handle this from the transmission standpoint. The other side is when people come to the hospital, we have to make it important that people understand that there's value in coming to the hospital, that there's benefit in coming to the hospital, that when they come to the hospital, they get good care. And so protecting the nurses, building up their morale, building up their motivation to help patients, and patients coming in early and leaving out healthy and strong will be this incredible complement to what you do in the society. So society component, civil society, general public society work, as well as the work that goes on in a clinical biomedical setting. If we manage those two, we should be able to knock this thing out of the park.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.